Take your friends and run. They'll keep coming and coming. You don't have to fight anymore.
Welcome back, friends, to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and before we begin, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you love darker superhero movies, and comment down below with what your favorites have been. Plus, we will now be featuring some of your comments at the end of each video, so stay tuned and hopefully you'll get featured. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to know when we post all of our newest videos. With that, let's get to today's video, the top 10 darkest superhero movies ever. At number 10, Punisher Warzone. While the 2004 Punisher movie may have been R-rated, Punisher Warzone takes the cake for a much darker superhero movie. Most people know Frank Castle to be a vigilante mass murderer, but Lexi Alexander's portrayal took that to the next level with this one. Some scenes are so violent and gruesome that I don't even think we're allowed to show you the video. Perhaps the darkest moment though was when the villain Jigsaw is thrown into a glass cutting machine that completely shreds his face.
Yummy, yummy, yummy in my tummy, tummy, tummy.
In at number 9, Batman Returns. With Tim Burton under the control of Batman, fans had to expect this movie was going to be a classic dark portrayal, and they got what they bargained for. This sequel takes the dark side of Batman to a whole new level. There's even a dog carrying a grenade into a store. If that's not dark and twisted enough for you, Tim Burton places this movie right in the middle of Christmas, just to add some violence and darkness to your holiday glee. Number 8, V for Vendetta. I love this movie, but man is it ever dark. The masked anti-hero known as V comes up with extreme acts of terror, kills government officials that have wronged him, and even kidnaps Natalie Portman. Not Natalie, come on. However, he did do it to free her from her own fears, but still, that's really dark. This film perfectly distorts the line between a hero and a terrorist, making us wonder if there really is a difference. In at number 7, Blade. Half mortal, half immortal, Blade is out to take revenge for his mother's death and rid the world of vampires, which sets the precedent for a very dark superhero movie, especially with scenes like the obese vampire being torched by a flashlight.
Oh, it's nothing. It's routine research. Actually, it's a video game.
And Blade busting up a bloody rave, this movie just raised the bar in 1998 for dark superheroes. In at number 6, The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan did a brilliant job of making his Batman movies pretty dark, but they always seem to have good prevail over evil. However, with The Dark Knight Rises, we see that Batman could have done more to stop Gotham from entering into its chaotic state. Good kinda ends up coming on top, but there's still an undertone that Batman watched his city collapse and therefore takes responsibility. In at number 5, The Crow. This is one of those dark and violent superhero movies that make you cheer for a good guy who's driven to commit seemingly justified acts of, well, murder. It's about a rock musician coming back from the dead to seek revenge for the murder of his fiancée. There are a ton of dark moments in this film. Most notable is the impalement on a gargoyle and Bei Ling having her eyes pulled out by an angry bird. Ugh. The entire movie just feels like the darkest music video you've ever seen, and has some very depressing visuals combined with a limited color palette. In at number 4, Spawn. The 1997 movie about the Spawn comic book character is without a doubt one of the most dark comic book movies come to life.
What's the matter, Jason? You don't recognize your own handiwork. You left me to die in that biochem plant, remember?
The film is based on a resurrected demon with cult powers, making the entire movie just a little paranormal. Director Mark A.Z. Dieppe did a terrific job of taking this star-studded cast to create a disturbing and frightening theme throughout the movie. In at number 3, Constantine. This movie is a reconstruction of the Hellblazer comic book by Vertigo Comics that features a war between heaven and hell to take over Earth. With the hope of battling over souls, it makes the entire world of Constantine really dark. There's suicides, demons, witch doctors, and Peter Stormare's Lucifer is extremely creepy. Surprisingly, this superhero movie ends with the angels being perhaps the darkest and most devious creatures. Number 2, The Watchmen. Directed by Zack Snyder and released in 2009, The Watchmen is based on the DC comic book series. Throughout the film, they do a terrific job of making it feel like a comic book come to life, showcasing all of the dark aspects in the original series. The director does an amazing job of keeping true to the ugliness, tragic background, and personal evils that the characters all possess. This is put on display when the masked vigilante Rorschach uses an axe to smash a criminal's head and then keeps going for some reason even when it's just turned to mush. Lastly, at our number 1 spot, Logan. This movie is by far the darkest of all the mainstream superhero movies. It begins with a daunting overtone that all of the heroes have died as a result of Charles Xavier's dementia, which even the government classifies as a weapon of mass destruction. This movie carries a very serious tone with Logan filled with regret, trying to make things right with one last opportunity to do so. Possibly one of the darkest moments is when Charles remembers what happens in Westchester and tells Logan, "This is not the first time that I've hurt people. Until today, I didn't know. You didn't tell me, so we kept on running away from it. I think I finally understand you." Now, like I mentioned in the beginning, let's entertain your brain with some featured comments. Emo Nico says, "Forgot to say RIP Stan Lee. I saw your comment on a previous video, and at the time of it being filmed, Stan Lee was still with us. So I'll say it now. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. I hope his last words were Excelsior." The Thoughtful Critic says, "Not really a fan of the host, but that's a good list. I'll take it, and don't worry, I'll start to grow on you. My mom isn't even a fan." Ramen Noodles says, "You're a nerd, but one of my favorite nerds. I'll take it, and I love ramen noodles." All Powerful Sentry says, "Hey Rogers, please name your son Steve. I'm pretty far away from having a kid, but I'll talk to the girlfriend about it. That could be a good possible name. I think it would be cool, but side note, I actually know someone who had twins and legit named them Thor and Loki, so Steve Rogers is still in the cards." Jordan West says, "Haven't been on YouTube so long that Top 10 Nerd got a new host." Well, welcome back, Jordan. I'm the new nerd sheriff in town, so get used to seeing this face. And that has been the top 10 darkest superhero movies ever. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, share it with some of your friends. Plus, let us know down in the comments section which dark superhero movie was your favorite from our list, and if you happen to be new here, hello, welcome, nice to see you. But before you leave, hit that subscribe button so you can join our nerd family. Also, if you want more videos like this one, just click the playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers, and until next time, take care.